trans women have a more beautiful understanding what womanhood is.
I agree.
I think that unfortunately the programming
is crazy.
Cis women it's kind of sad sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm like, actually, no, your womanhood is not your role. Your womanhood is not your status in society.
The trans
and your
idea
is not your ability to be assaulted.
Yeah.
And this trans debate, when you talk to trans women about their womanhood, they talk about it, like, almost gets me choked up. They talk about it in such this like beautiful, expansive way.
Yeah.
Of like, it's this feeling I always had.
Yeah.
You know, it's this truth I've always known. It's the most beautiful parts of me. It's my softest self.
Where do we even begin with that? That's like some of the craziest shit I've ever heard.
It's insane.
Like, that's levels of
so much wrong with it.
So woke that you've actually become like deeply offensive.
It's also like, she's like, well, when trans women define their womanhood, it's this expansive and beautiful and basically this like esoteric thing that is just so great. It's like, yeah, no shit, because they get to pick and choose what parts of womanhood they want to appropriate.
Yeah, and also,
they don't have to deal with the actual struggle of being born a woman and being born in a society that does treat women differently from men.
Yes, but I really think this whole idea is wrong. First off, to suggest that trans women are like better, I don't remember exact wording, but like better women or better understanding of it. Is like absurd beyond parody and actually very inflammatory and offensive and only likely misogynistic, but also only likely to engender backlash against the trans community, not support, coming from a non-binary. So of course they're always the ones dragging everyone down. Patterns I've been noticing.
Non-binary is always dragging trans people down.
Also, she's like talking about how wonderful their womanness is. Yeah, this is literally a female who pretends they're not female because they like to dress androgynously. And they feel like they can't do that and be a woman.
Yeah.
So you're like the most sexist, woke, poison-brained person I've ever encountered.
Let's also not forget that she said women shouldn't be defining their womanhood by being sexually assaulted.
What does that even mean?
So the point
no one's doing that.
The point that she's making is that when a woman is worried about their safety and by allowing trans women into their spaces because of the potential of being sexually assaulted, that woman is somehow not understanding what it means to be a woman because they are highlighting their risk for sexual.
The funny thing is and it's not funny, it's actually but like this non-binary person, the type of politics that she supports is the same type of politics that in California, for example, puts biologically male sex offenders into women's prisons.
Correct.
This like self-gender ID, you are whatever your truth is, with literally no accommodations for biological reality or even severe criminal history. And so you're going to insult women and say that their fear for their safety is somehow them like reducing themselves rather than pragmatism. Well, your own policies and ideology actually endanger women.
Said that trans women describe their womanhood as being soft. Yeah. And it's like, womanhood is defined by the biological and social constructs that are placed upon women for being women. And when you start to actually engage in this conversation of what's associated with femininity and masculinity, I find it ironic that the very things that men aren't allowed to be, that trans women claim their femininity allows, is how she's now describing womanhood. It's like, no, that's just men being upset, or trans men being upset that they weren't allowed to be the version of male that they wanted to be. And they became a woman, and now they love those parts of themselves because it's generally accepted within society and they celebrate that. And that's not a bad thing, but it's clearly a male perspective.
And also she's saying your gender shouldn't be a role that you play. But it's like, that's literally your belief system.
Yes.
Is that it is, and so you can adopt and choose it. Now, we also
You're saying it's a role by saying that femininity is soft.
Yeah, I agree. It's very stereotypical and backwards. But what I will say is that we've always believed, you and I, and we still believe, people have gender dysphoria and might want to live as the other sex. But ultimately, like, man and woman are about your biology more than anything else. And if you attaching more to that is impossible to do as innate. Obviously, there are things about society that are attached to being a man or a woman, but those things are not innate to being a man. They don't define being a man or a woman. And because they change in a different society, in a different context, the only consistencies about women are the biological things.
Yeah.
And certain social things that we see come out time and time again. But even that.
Well, there's shared experiences to being a woman that women can unite upon, that are social constructs. But at the end of the day, those social constructs boil down and stem from biology.
And what I'm saying is that the definition of a woman itself is not about the attachments to it. That can be what defines femininity, being feminine.
Or womanhood, but not woman.
But not woman itself.
Yes.
And to say that they have a better idea of womanhood or anything else, it's like, this is so painfully... in fact, I'm going to rat her out on this. my sister sent me this clip and she's like a little lived out and a little feminist, and she's just so mad about it.
People
she used to like Drew Afawalo, and now she doesn't.
Yeah.
She was fine with the man hating until they
So was my sister.
Oh my
she was
God.
like, I used to like Drew's content.
Trans women